Hello, everyone. Welcome to Body Bags. I'm your host today. I am Sinema77, horror and cult film lover. Now, of course, everybody already knows this is week number 301. And last week, DJ Boy 3275, he reviewed the original Dark Water. So today it is my duty to review the remake that came out in 2005. And basically, this was kind of like this came out around the time when all of a sudden it became popular to do American remakes of basically foreign films, particularly Japanese horror films and things, because of success like of movies like The Ring or The Grudge or things like that. And so pretty much they were looking into just about every Japanese horror movie that they could get their hands on and do American remake of it. And this one was no exception. The original Dark Water. Some now here's the thing. Okay, some people say that the original Dark Water film was loosely inspired by the true story of Elisa Lamb, who you know a lot of people it was she was suffering from basically kind of like she had mental problems and things like that. And there's this infamous video where she's standing inside of a elevator and she's like hitting the buttons and she's looking out, and it's kind of creepy because you don't know what she's looking at, or is something coming after her or something like that. And then later on, in this motel, the guests started complaining about very low water pressure, and that the water tasted bad, had an odor to it and stuff like that. And so they go and they check, and then they find out that actually, like, they found Elisa Lamb's body floating in the water tank, and that's what was her body was plugging up the water lines. And so the water they were getting was coming from her decomposing body and things, and that's why they had no water pressure in there. So the original Dark Water is loosely inspired by that. This movie, the connection is much more apparent. As a matter of fact, if you can see there on the cover, you see the water tower there. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit more obvious in here that the Elisa Lamb story does play into this, as inspiration for this movie. Now, hmm, okay. Now I remember on last week's review, he said that one of the things that really bothered him was the incredible slow pace of the movie, and he was talking about maybe giving this one another shot and seeing if he liked it better. I really don't think so. I'm sorry, but here's the problem: if you're gonna, if the slow pace of the Japanese film was a problem for you, this isn't going to change your mind. I'm sorry. This is a really slow burn. It's very slow pace as well. the the thing is like, I think we can all agree is like when they turn around and they do an American remake of like a Japanese film, they make like a couple of small changes to it, but essentially they just kind of make the same movie over again. They don't really change that much in terms of details or anything like in this. I would say, if anything else, the original movie has a little bit of an edge over this one, because what they do with this movie is, I mean, obviously, because you got big name stars. You got Jennifer Connelly, who, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's great. She's great in this movie. She does a fantastic job. Us horror fans, we know she's great. Us horror fans, we've seen Dario Argento's Phenomena, aka Creepers. So, we know her from that. We know her from Labyrinth. We know her from other stuff. So we know she's good. We know she's going to give a great performance. And she does. She's fantastic. She does a great job. But the problem is you got like a big name cast in this movie. I mean, you got Jennifer Connelly, you got John C. Reilly, you got Dougray Scott, you got Pete Postlethwaite, Camryn Manheim. So basically, you got this big name cast. So what they end up doing is they kind of more tone down the ghost story element, and they make it much more of like a drama. So I would say that the one thing that the original movie has, it has a little bit of an edge over the Japanese movie has a bit of an edge over this movie, because the Japanese movie really does have more of a ghost story feel to it. The ending is kind of more of a shocking, kind of spooky ghost story end, where this is more of a, they try to do more of a dramatic character piece, And even at times in this movie, it's kind of a little off-putting because in the original movie, they it's kind of clear that it's a ghost story and that they're dealing with a ghost and a supernatural issue. Here, it's almost like they're kind of trying to sideline you with this idea. Well, maybe it's not ghosts. Maybe it's her. Maybe is it more psychological? Is a lot of this stuff? Is this stuff that she's seeing? Is is um the little girl, is it really her as a little girl? Is it whatever? So it's kind of like they kind of throw you off with this one by trying to add more of like a more of a like I said, more of a psychological dramatic film instead of just a straight out ghost story. I mean, ultimately, yeah, it still is a ghost story, but I'm just saying it's got some distractions to it. I would say though, I'm sorry, I gotta say, this really doesn't hold up as well as the original movie does. And like I said, honestly, if you don't like the original movie, this one's really not going to change your mind. This is not going to. I mean, unless the thing is you don't really want a ghost story, and you want more of a dramatic kind of a character piece. Um, you know, where it's more about the people, it's not about the ghosts or anything that's going on. But I mean, real quick, I mean, I think a lot of us know the story. It's a pretty simple story. You got Jennifer Connelly, her daughter. They, move into this new apartment. Her and her husband, played by Dougray Scott, they're getting separated. And it's not, it's kind of a bitter separation between the two of them. So they go and they get, she finds this apartment building. It's kind of a really ratty, rundown building, and John C. Reilly is he's the owner of the building, and Pete Postlethwaite is basically he's kind of like the maintenance man, kind of caretaker. And so they move into this apartment, and really because they for two reasons. One, Jennifer Connelly just she needs to hurry up and get a place for her and her daughter to live, and two, the building is supposed to be like right near this school that's supposed to be like really excellent, and she wants to get her daughter into this school because if she does, she'll her daughter will have all these advantages in learning and things like that. So she wants to get her in this school. So they get there and it's kind of like, instantly they start noticing like there's some weird things going on. One thing they keep noticing is in the bedroom, there's like a wet spot that keeps forming in the ceiling. It's turning black and moldy and everything else. And it's like, of course, it's a sleazy apartment building that they're living in. So Jennifer Connelly, she's constantly like asking Pete Postlethwaite to look at it, and he's like, "I'm not going to look at it. I'll patch up the ceiling and all this." And so she's kind of always that's a lot of it too. There's a lot of back and forth between her and Postlethwaite and John C. Reilly, where she goes Postlethwaite, he's like, "I'm not going to do it," and then she goes to John C. Reilly's character, "I'll make him do it." Tell him I said to do it. So there's a lot of that going on, and like I said, there is a lot of that. So it's a very slow build. And then ultimately, little bit by little bit, she's discovering that, that there was not really a murder, but there was a tragic accident that happened in this place. And it has to do with, like I said, it's connected to the Elisa Lam story where little girl, she climbed up the ladder to the water tower. She slipped and fell in and drowned. And basically now her ghost is haunting the her ghost is haunting the apartment. And but like I said, the thing is though, it's like in the original movie, it's like there's more scares, there's more, it's much more of a it really is much more of a straightforward ghost story, because like when in the original movie, like when she's checking the water tank, you see her on the ladder, you see all of a sudden, like the hand just start or the fist start beating against the water tank, and all, and it's making an indent and everything. Whereas like in this one, Jennifer Connelly, yeah, there's like a little jump scare, but it's not as effective. And then she looks in, she sees the body in the water tank, and then cut to, police are there. So I mean, this one here, like I said, this plays it much more for drama and not so much for scares or horror. So I mean, Yeah, I guess, for like a couple of reasons, I guess I could recommend this if, if you don't like Japanese movies, and if you don't like, you don't want a movie where you got to read subtitles or anything like that, and you just want to see, American actors, I guess, it's good for that. But, or like I said, if you're just kind of more in for like a psychological drama than you are for a straight up ghost story, you watch it for those reasons. But other than that, I mean, if you want like a good scary ghost story, I got to be honest, pretty much the original is more the way to go. This here, like I said, they really take out a lot of the horror element. This is much more of a drama and, a psychological film and things like that. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much about all I can say about it. It's not a bad movie, but it's just like I said, it's kind of an unnecessary movie in the sense that you've already got the Japanese movie, and the Japanese movie already has an edge over this in terms of being scary and being more of a ghost story and stuff. But so ultimately, I say it's not a bad film. It's just kind of an unnecessary film. But I mean, nothing against Jennifer Connelly. She does a great job. You got good actors in here. Tim Roth does a great job. John C. Reilly does a good job. But ultimately, yeah, I can't really recommend this too high. But anyway, yeah, I'm starting to repeat myself. But so I say, yeah, if you really like a good ghost story, I would say stick with the original more. This is much more of just kind of like a psychological drama than anything else. And even Hitchcock could not have done it better. I don't know about that, but anyway, though, that's it. Yeah, Dark Water, the Ring. It says right there. Anyway, Dark Water. Yeah, I'd say kind of stick with the original. That'd probably be a little bit better. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah, if anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. If you're not already, please like and subscribe on the body bags. We do everyday videos. I'm the Saturday reviewer, and we got great guys doing great stuff. And yeah, so this is Cinema77, horror cult film lover. Thank you again for watching, and take care. I'll see you later. Have a good night. Bye bye.